Welcome to disk detainer locks. This video will not be a great picking video and will also not be a great tutorial. I just want to show you my progress on these locks, and that's almost zero. So be prepared for a messy video. Okay, it started with this lock. I bought it myself. It's a Chinese brand, Top Security Extra. To get started with these kind of locks. It's a Wuzi key, and the first thing that I had to learn is that not all of these locks are tensioned on the front disk. So when you usually try to get into these locks, you tension the first or the front disk and then try to set the remaining disks. If you closely look to this key, the first cut is not a zero cut, so that means when you try to tension a lock from the first or from the front disk, I believe the disks are ordered like 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on. So I say front disk to the front disk. If you try to tension the lock from the front disk, the sidebar will not be able to fall in because you will overturn it. And to overcome this issue, I popped open this ring and I changed the order of disks, and because of this now the key doesn't work anymore. But then I had a lock that tensions from the front disk, and I should be able to get it open with the usual tools. Yeah, Talon Pick is a great picker, and he's also great in picking these kind of locks, and he sent me the tools that he uses to pick these locks, a homebrew disk turner and a homebrew tensioner. And I really tried hard to pick these locks with this tool, tension it like that and turn the discs with this hook. And once I managed to get this lock open, but it's really a pain for me. I'm not so skilled at all in handling these tools. I'm really sorry. Then Talon Pick sent me this lock that he said is working nicely to be tensioned on the front disk, and here also the key works. Key has a zero cut at the front disk, so it has, I believe, 4 disks, 1, 2, 3, 4, and the front disk here is a zero cut, so you can tension it from the front disk. And he told me that these tools just work fine, and yeah, I managed to get it open with these tools, but only once, and as I said, it's a real pain for me, but I will continue trying. Instead, I bought myself this well-known Chinese pick for disk detainers, and here I have a chance to get this lock open on camera. And that's what I'm going to do now. First part of this video will be the picking of this lock, and the second part will be disassembling this one and showing you the disks. So, what I want to do first is turn one disk, the front disk, all the way around so that I don't unintentionally tension the second disk with my tool. So, insert it here. Now I can tension the first disk only, and it's hard for me to hold. Maybe so. And now I'm poking around. Okay, that could be number 2. Makes a click here, makes a click there, and nothing in between, so I don't know. this is not, I mean, I can't feel progress. I'm just turning these discs back and forth. And at some point then the lock will open. Was always the case like that. Oh, and it's open. Okay, the Lucet top security lock picked open. First time for me on camera picking a disk detainer lock. Alright, so now I will open this one up forcefully, and we can have a look at the disks and see how this works. Oops, that was easy. Okay, that's the security ring that should hold everything nicely together, and it's very easy to pop it out. Maybe it was not that easy the first time, but now it's really easy. So let me see if I can do this without creating a mess. Maybe I insert the key and get this one out. Yeah, so here you can see the empty housing without the core. I think we can remove the shell here. Yeah. So now we can completely look inside. Now you can see the ball bearing. Shackle comes out, and yeah, here are the balls. Alright, one, and here is the other one. Then we have the shell where the discs belong to, like so. And that's, I think that was here at the end. If you can turn this, you can give free the way for the ball bearing to retract or not. So if the ball bearing sits here, then the shackle is locked up, and if it's turned like so, they can retract and you can pull out the shackle. Okay, then we have the sidebar, and here we have the discs. Okay, give me just a second, I will sort them and I will give you a better view, and then we can have a look at the discs and how it works together with the sidebar. So here's the core reassembled in the shell, and we can see the stack of discs. This little thing here with a nose is a disc, and what's in between are spacers. So from the top we can see a spacer, and then here is the first disc. With this nose, the shell will be turned when the nose is on the other side, and you can see the little cutout here on the disc. This needs to go on that position so that the sidebar can fall in. So let me show you that. I've reordered the disk so that the key now works. We can see that currently the place for the sidebar is filled, so the gaps are not aligned. The sidebar would not fall in, and here we have the key. I can stick it in. Currently the lock is in the closed position, so all these noses are aligned to the right. Now when I turn the key, you can see how the discs move, and they only move that far that the cutout allows it. So put it in again. We turn the key and we can see that the discs move one more than the other depending on the cuts. And when we look to the place for the sidebar, we can see that now the place for the sidebar is free. I have the sidebar here somewhere laying around. Yeah, here it is. I push it in the gap, and now when I turn the key, now it's retracted. And now I can turn the whole thing together with the key. So that's the actual opening procedure, that the whole thing, the complete part here, turns together with the key. You can see here it's free, and it turns only because of the tensioning disc. And in this case you can see the tensioning disc is, I would say, number 2, or the second disc here and the last disc. They are tensioning the shell, and so the shell can turn. And what the shell turn does is it turns the actuator inside the lock housing, and when this turns, it gives free the way for the ball bearing to fall in, and so the shackle can be removed. You can also see the cutout here for the sidebar. When the lock is in the locked up state, the sidebar has the place here to go out. I can try to simulate this. So currently we have the sidebar in the state that it's out. I push it in. Now when I turn it, the sidebar needs to fall in this little gap here, otherwise the shell would not be able to turn. And I can demonstrate this as well by inserting the sidebar. So now you can see the lock is in the locked up state, and the sidebar has room to go out. Now when I want to turn the whole thing here, the whole core, the right key must be inserted, otherwise the discs would not align. Now they align and the sidebar can retract, and at the same time the whole thing can turn, and this turns the actuator on the back, and now the ball bearing can fall in and the shackle can be pulled out. By the way, that's the first lock with 4 metal balls. Looks like the distance here from the hole of the shackle to the place where the actuator blocks the ball bearing is too wide for 1, so they have installed 2. The bigger one goes towards the shackle and the little one goes towards the actuator, so then this looks like this. First lock with 4 ball bearing. Very funny. Alright, so that was my little adventure with disc detainer locks. Yeah, I will continue trying to improve my skills, and I will continue trying to get these tools working properly for me. So I will try to learn to use these tools, because it's always handy to not be dependent on such kind of tools that you cannot make yourself. It's very cool that you can make your own disk detainer picks. Yeah, beside of that, thank you very much for watching. Happy picking, and bye bye.